Hi, everybody. Welcome to WCAX. We're starting a few minutes late today. Just wanted to get on the horn. Obviously, a big issue in Vermont is rental housing and all of that. But wanted to get Laura Ullman on today to talk about eviction rates specifically. She just did a story last night, we aired this morning as well, about eviction rates, especially those that are on the rise. So, Laura, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, John.
Yep. And kind of jumping right into it, just how much have eviction rates increased in Vermont over 5 years?
Well, according to this report from Legal Services Vermont, they've
Yeah.
increased 45% over the past 5 years.
Right. And you had spoken to a couple in your story, and they're having some trouble securing some housing, especially with some Section 8 assistance. So, kind of describe that to me as far as where the buck stops for Section 8 and rental prices skyrocketing. What is that? Is that on par, or is it lagging behind as far as people getting help?
Yeah, so as rental prices go up, the vouchers for Section 8 can only cover so much, and Section 8 only really has so much money in the pot. And um, the lawyer that I talked to at Legal Services Vermont tells me that federal cuts may also be coming to Section 8. So they're struggling with funding, and so they can only really support so many people. So folks are being turned away. The couple that I interviewed isn't having that problem with Section 8, though.
Okay. And with that in mind too, you had I'm sorry, I was looking for a spot here. I guess in the other half of the argument, there are landlords and the people who rely on renters or for whether an Airbnb or condo or whatever. How is this, impacting them?
Yeah, absolutely. Tenants are struggling to make rent, but landlords in turn are struggling to receive rent. And as the housing market sort of just shifts in this direction where prices are really high, and folks are unable to make rent, when they can't make their rent, landlords can't afford to pay their bills. And that means mortgages on their properties, or maybe that means maintenance in the homes that they're renting out. And a lot of people, according to the lawyer that I spoke to yesterday, tell me that, he tells me that landlords are either leaving the industry just because of how the system is sort of just, it feels like built against everybody who's in it. And some of them are converting their properties into condos or Airbnbs to sort of make up the price difference and enter a market that is a little bit more profitable. But that in turn makes housing less readily available and further worsening the problem.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's kind of the give and take there is that they, obviously, want to use that property to make some money, but again, taking away from the housing stock as well. But Laura, thanks so much for hopping on today. We'll play that in just a sec, but I appreciate you coming on, especially working the 11th. So
Happy to be here. I was up early this morning. As I told you, the cat just pounced on me, and I was up.
it happens. Hey, whatever gets you up. My alarm clock goes through about 6 times of me slapping it off the rest, so it's okay. Anyway, thanks, Laura.
Well, I'm glad you're up too.
Yeah,
Thanks, John. Bye.
thanks. That was that was Laura Ullman. Just kind of talking about the eviction rate in Vermont as of late. So we'll pull that up in just a sec here. So I'm going to zoom with myself.
It's a phone call no wife wants to get. The love of your life, someone you're with for 20 years. But I just took it day by day.
After Eva Gaborio's husband had a stroke, he became paralyzed on his left side. He needed a full-time caretaker. Gaborio stepped in, and rent payments started stacking up.
And the sheriff came with the writ, and then we had to be out February 27th and came here and have been here ever since.
Here is the Motel 6 in Colchester. It's where many who have been evicted in Chittenden County end up staying through the hotel-motel program.
I knew the numbers were bad, but when we pulled them together, even I was kind of shocked.
At a minimum, every 5 years, Legal Services Vermont is required to assess the legal needs of the community they serve. Their latest and most staggering finding is that evictions have increased 45% in the last 5 years.
The fallout from the pandemic, it really destabilized the housing market.
Abel Palmer says rental prices skyrocketed and low-income Vermonters stopped being able to afford rent. He adds that federal assistance through Section 8 only has so much money in the pot. As rental prices go up, Section 8 funding stays stagnant and may even be cut under the new administration. Places like the Burling Housing Authority are now turning folks away from vouchers because they don't have enough funding.
There are going to be fewer people who have rental assistance, which means more people who can't afford to pay their rent, more people who are going to get evicted.
Abel Palmer says this is leading landlords to exit the industry. Without rent, they can't afford their properties or necessary maintenance. Some convert their rentals into condos or Airbnbs, leading to even less housing on the market. Abel Palmer says new affordable housing is the only real solution. But for Gaborio, she and her husband have an eviction on their record and can't get a reference from their old landlord. No affordable housing rentals in our housing crunch have accepted their application yet.
We had a handicap unit, he would have everything he needs and he would be able to thrive. Whereas in here, it's like we're just withering away.
WCAX has reached out to the landlord, but we have not heard back yet at this time. Reporting in Colchester, Laura Ullman, Channel 3 News.
Some great work there from Laura Ullman. Happy to have her on. But actually, a special guest here today, our executive producer, Sam Shin. Sam, we had a great showing, or obviously Burlington had a great showing for the Catamount Parade
We sure did.
Sunday, but a lot of work on our end to kind of put that whole production together for your special broadcast, 1 p.m.?
Yeah, 1 o'clock on Sunday. It was
Yeah.
a tremendous effort on our part. We didn't really fully sign on to the event as a sponsor and
Yeah.
as especially a media sponsor until about 10 days prior.
Yeah.
Normally we have like 2 to 3 months to organize this kind of thing. Like for the eclipse, we started planning in like February and it was in April.
Yeah.
We had 10 days to put this parade together.
And it came out great. I will say, because
Yeah, it
I
was
was
fabulous.
there, I had was a support staff. I basically was just the guy steering one of our camera people. But we watched the broadcast yesterday, and it was all different graphics. We had how many cams? We had how many live
I think that we
cams?
had 7 cameras. It
Yeah.
was an unbelievable effort
Yeah.
on every single person's part, like from you
Yeah.
steering and being support staff to like
Yeah.
me and our director Brian on the bridge. I mean, every single person
Yeah.
showed up and put in the work, and it really showed.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of what we did. I think I set my expectations for it pretty low because I was sick all last week, and we only had 10 days to put this together. So I came into it, kind of being like, let's just like get this done.
Yeah.
And then as soon as it started, it was looking so good, and it turned out really well. So if you haven't seen it, it's on our website. It's on YouTube. The
I
whole
think
broadcast.
the whole thing is on YouTube, and then
Yeah.
is it website 3 parts? I might be wrong
I
on
think
this.
so.
Yeah.
I think so. But
Yeah.
you can see the whole thing on YouTube. It's live anchored. Catherine
Yep.
and Michael did an amazing job. They spent as much time as they could preparing to
Michael Dugan-
basically ad lib for an hour and 20 minutes, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
nuts.
Michael
I'm
Dugan
struggling to do it right now. So.
Is absolutely earning his jobs as VT.
Oh my god! I know.
Yeah, sportscaster, because wow.
Yeah.
I was watching the first
Yeah.
20 minutes. I had goosebumps, and I didn't even win a national championship. You know
I
what
know,
mean?
right?
you
I
know,
don't care about sports at all, but
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, UVM.
Yeah, absolutely. I think definitely a great showing, and again, they had fun with it. Yeah, I think that's the best part.
They had a great
So,
time with it. And Catherine is just a fun-loving gal. She, no matter what you put her on, she's going to go out there, she's
Yeah.
going to have fun, and she's going to do a good job. So every single person came up
Yeah.
and showed out, and it was a triumph.
I think the one thing from that day is that I did close the tripod on my finger. You can
Oh my
see.
gosh, no, it's a dead
Yes.
finger. So how was your experience? Am I allowed to interview you about
Yeah,
this?
absolutely. Other than the finger incident, it was fine.
Well,
yeah,
you look like Gary. Gary's got a necrotic finger.
yeah, it's
these
gonna
days.
fall off.
Scary little dead thing on
It's
his
like
hand.
like a reptile, just grow back.
like
No, it was fine.
Nosferatu.
It was great. It was. We were down by the staging area. So at the front of the parade, right by the Flynn, is where they had everybody
Right.
lined up. So the pep band, cheer squad, all that kind of stuff. And then the governor was down there trying to talk to people.
Oh, really?
And then
He was?
yeah, it was funny. He just kind of like
Nice.
walked by us.
Welcome to Burlington, Governor.
Yeah, and then, but yeah, I think we had set up at the bottom of Church Street. They had come around, and by the
Yeah.
time our car came, we slowly were going back. But we were like in the parade.
Fully in the
basically.
parade, yeah, fully in
No.
the parade. You guys were up there, like
Yeah.
the section where Rob Dow is walking up the kind
Yeah.
of narrow passageway, and
Yeah.
I don't know, we couldn't see you obviously, but Matt Green, one of our
Oh,
creative
I was
services
holding
people
like
who-
he has a TV on his back. I think that
Yeah.
can broadcast to you guys. I had my hand on his back,
Oh
so
my
then
God.
I'm like this, and then we're slowly
Wow,
going back. Yes, so it was
physically intimate experience.
it was a lot of walking backward.
Wow, that's amazing. I could not do
Yeah,
that.
and then I think that the funniest part of the day though was that he had turned, and it does bottleneck. It bottleneck kind of like where it kind of goes.
And there were thousands of people.
We had the story yesterday. It was like about estimate
Really?
5,000.
That's crazy.
I think I
did
don't know if
not
it was just there, but
expect-
all of Burlington. Yeah. So
I did not expect that many people to turn out.
but I think at one point I had like nowhere to go, so I was just like looking down the barrel of the camera. So sorry for that.
That's great. No, it was great.
yeah.
It was to have someone actually embedded in the parade gave such a unique point of view because we
Yeah.
had the drone, which was great. We had the street view. We had the tower cam. All these different cameras, but to actually be in the parade
Yeah.
was a unique perspective that you could not have gotten anywhere else.
Yeah, no, I think it was a great thing to be part of, and again, I think we pulled it off. We pulled it off. So
We
it was,
sure did.
It was a lot of fun. So check it out if you haven't, and congrats to Michael, Catherine, and everybody behind the scenes too, because it was without a hitch.
And
So.
go Cats! Is that what they say?
Yeah.
Over in the sports
Yeah,
world,
cardiac-
go Cats.
cardiac cats?
The cardiac. I never got that, but
Yeah.
woo, yes.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Anyway, check that out. Of course, you can see all of our other content at WCAX.com. We're going to loop in Peter now, so we can relinquish you.
Thanks for having me.
Yep, thank you. That's not Peter. That's Laura.
Here I am.
There he is. All right. Anyway, so Peter, it was obviously a great weekend
Yeah.
to get out there and see the parade,
Yep.
but I kind of called your bluff this morning. I'll recant my words a little bit.
I
Peter-
know. I think everybody in this newsroom called
Peter-
my bluff this morning.
Peter comes in today and says, "Hey, look, we want to do a street view day.
Yep.
Snow squalls are coming." I had a fine drive in. I had no
Yeah.
problem.
Oh, yeah.
And then 3:45 rolls around, 4 o'clock rolls around, 4:30 rolls
Yeah.
around. And I'm starting to think,
Basically, between 4:30 and
what the heck?
7 a.m.
Yeah.
though, we had snow squall warnings. Snow squall warnings. Kind
Say
of a
that
tongue
10
twister
times
there.
fast,
Yeah.
yeah.
Basically encompassing at one point through the entire region, from northwest to southeast, a ton of snow squalls out there.
Yeah.
The good news is that is now over and done with. As a matter of fact, for the most part, any leftover snow showers basically coming to a close at this point. Did want to show you this. Look across the area right now. Can see basically a mixture of sunshine and clouds. There were a few leftover snow showers out earlier in Linden. Does look like those are now starting to wrap up across the Northeast Kingdom. The big story, though, will actually be temperature-wise. Those snow squalls were part of an Arctic cold front that are driving down our temperatures. As a matter of fact, earlier this morning when we all got into work, John, we were talking temperatures in the 30s and 20s out there. Now we're going down to the single digits and teens here as we head through the rest of the afternoon hours today. But then, as we head towards tonight, I wanted to pick up Futurecast once again as we head towards later tonight. This is 10:30 p.m. Notice how we're starting to see some more snow showers out there. Those snow showers continue here for the night ahead. Scattered on and off snow showers here as we head into your day on Wednesday before they begin to wrap up and become a bit more isolated in nature Wednesday evening and Wednesday night. Into the day Thursday, it does look like we're quieter here for the day Thursday. But that and Alberta Clipper, that's going to bring, yes, more snow into our direction. For the most part, I think we're talking about a fairly widespread 1 to 3 inches of new snow for a lot of us. However, the northern portions of New York's North Country, especially to take a look at the Adirondacks, they could possibly pick up an additional 4 to 8. Much of northern Vermont into the Northeast Kingdom could pick up an additional 3 to 5. We're going to keep that 3 to 5 trend basically going down the entirety of the spine of the Green Mountains as well. 7-day forecast, kind of an up and down situation here really through the next several days. Today, a cold day. We warm things up a bit tomorrow. Thursday, another cold day. As a matter of fact, Thursday morning, probably a lot of us will be waking up to wind chills in the teens and even 20s below zero. Friday, we spike back up again, temperature-wise, back into the 30s. Saturday, another cold day. Then the temperatures start to mediate a bit as we head towards that Sunday and Monday time frame. So kind of on a bumpy temperature roller coaster here
Yeah.
over the next 7, if you will.
Quite the bit of up and down here. You know,
Yeah.
we got the teens, we're almost at 30, and we're going back down to the teens
Yeah.
at 31. It's just
I mean,
back and forth.
we even saw it
Yeah.
already today. I mean, when you and I were coming into work,
Yeah.
Our car thermometer probably read 32, somewhere
Yeah.
around there.
I think it was like 33, 35 for me. Yeah. It was
And
nothing.
now we're back into the teens already. So
Yeah. No, I think it's just, and you had said earlier too, there was concerns for some refreezing on the
Yeah.
roads. I think that's pretty much, are we out of the woods there? or
we're
what?
not completely
Yeah.
out of the woods there. So one thing is, again, we saw the snow squalls earlier
Yeah.
this morning. If they salted the roads and then plowed them and we had a little bit of standing water, then the roads can quickly freeze up as the temperatures drop pretty quickly. There could be a little bit of a refreezing situation. I think for the most part, the roads should be good from here on out, but I do know there have been reports of some icy roads, especially down towards the upper valley as well as into southern Vermont, just because they got in on the snow last.
Yeah.
They're still going through the process of getting colder as we speak, so
Yeah. And I think the thing is too, Peter, one last thing too, we're A, almost in February, and B, Groundhog's Day is coming up.
Groundhog's Day
Your
on
mortal
Sunday.
enemy on this day, Peter versus the rodents.
You keep on insisting.
I
that.
know. I'm pitting Peter and Punxsutawney Phil together because I
Okay.
feel like there's a general resentment from meteorologists toward he gets a lot of attention.
Some
on this day.
meteorologists have a general resentment.
Some.
I think it's a
Yeah.
fun folklore at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Your little tinge of jealousy in your. Anyway, I think it is for us here on WCAX Extra. Peter, we'll be back noon, just a couple hours from now.
Yep.
And of course, you can see all of our content on WCAX.com. Again, I just want to emphasize again the Catamount Parade special broadcast that we did on Sunday just came out excellent.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us, it was a great thing to throw together, and
Yep.
it came out fantastic. So it was a fun day
Yeah.
too, if you didn't see it too.
A
So
lot of fun.
yeah, thanks, Peter. That's it for us here. We'll see you in a bit.